Hello everyone and welcome to the third tutorial in a series of video tutorials for Java programming. So in the last tutorial we discussed about the concept of polymorphism, abstraction, inheritance and encapsulation. So don't forget to click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon as well to stay up to date with every tutorial I upload on my channel. So now let's get to work. So in the last two tutorials I was completely discussing only about the theoretical part. So now I decided that this tutorial will be about practical part. So let me just give you an example. So right now if you see, the source code file name is named as tutorial.java. So I'm going to delete everything here and I'm going to start from scratch. So in the last tutorial, if you remember, I mentioned that the file name and the class name should be the same. So the file name here is tutorial.java, right? So the class name should also be the same. Now one thing which you must keep in mind is that if I am writing this public keyword before the class, then always you should remember that the class name should be the same as the file name. So what will happen right now if I write as tutorials? Okay, so what is going to happen? It is going to give an error. So I'm going to tell you a very easy way to fix those errors, especially if you are using an IDE. Either you can open the error list. Okay, so there is an option in here, but that differs on a different IDE. Now here you can see, now this actually this is a warning. Okay, the warning comes in a yellow symbol and this is the error. Now see what it is saying. Actually most of the beginners or most of the novice, actually what they don't understand is that if you look at the error list now, it is clearly mentioned that what the error is. Now you can see what is the problem. Tutorials is public. Okay, I declared it as public. So it should be declared in a file named tutorials.java. So it is clearly saying here tutorials. So I am writing the class name here as tutorials. So it is saying file name should also be tutorials.java. So that is why yesterday I mentioned that the class name should be same as the file name. Otherwise it is going to give an error. Now one thing which you can do is you can make this as tutorial. Okay, sorry, you can make this as tutorial, and after that you can create another class here and you can call it tutorials. That is not going to give any error. Why it is not giving any error? Because it is this class is public. Okay, so if this is named as public, if you write the public keyword before the class keyword, then you need to ensure that the file name is same as the class name. Otherwise if you don't make it public, then it is not necessary. So you can write even hundreds of classes here, it is not going to give you any error here. You can give you can write hundreds of classes here, it is not going to give any error as long as you don't make it public. Now the second I make it public, it is going to give an error. It is going to say it should be declared in a file named car.java. So that is a concept. A single file, it is not that a file cannot contain more than one class. It can definitely contain more than one class, but then it should be the main class should be named as public, and all the other classes, they should be not named, they should not have that public keyword in front of class. So now that we have gone through this basic concept, and so now let us go to the next part. So now I am going to talk about the public static void main. Okay, I am going to show you what happens if you don't declare it as public, and I am going to show you what happens if you don't declare it as static also, because that is a concept which we obviously we need to understand. Okay, right now it is public static void main. So here I am going to simply show system.out.println. I am going to simply type it, and I am going to say that this is a sample Java program. Of course you can type whatever you want to write here. Okay, You can write hello world if you want. Usually hello world is what many people write. So now I'm going to run it. So I'm going to run it, and it is going to show this is a sample Java program. So now let us wait for the execution part. So I think it should be over very soon. I think this is the first time it is building this program, so that's why it's taking a little bit of time. So but however, when this program gets built, and when the compilation part, everything is done, it is going to show this is a sample Java program. So in the meantime, I just want to show you how to create a project. I think that also I cannot do right now. Okay, so if you click on this file, if you are using this Intel, this is ID name is IntelliJ IDEA. So now, okay, let us now just look at, so it is showing this is a sample Java program. Okay, so now what happens if I make, instead of public, what happens if I make it private? That is what you should in always in programming now, you should always explore the things. You should always explore the things. Instead of public, make it private. Instead of private, make it protected, like that. Now let us see what happens, what error it gives, or what is the output. Let us see. So let us see what happens. Yeah, now see, main method is not found in class tutorial. Please define the main method as public static void main string arguments. So that is exactly what happens if you don't declare it as public. If you declare it as private, then this main method, it will not be accessible to the JVM. So now that I have shown you what happens if I made it private, I am going to show you what happens if I write protected as well. Actually the output is going to remain the same, but still let me show you what happens. So I made it protected, right? So now again it is going to show the same output. So no other option is there, you need to make it public. No other option is there. Unless and until you make it public, this program will never get executed. So now let us experiment a little bit more by removing this parameter. Let us see what happens if we remove this parameter from the main method. So that is the next experiment which I am going to do. So again code is not executing, because string arguments, that is the default definition of a main method. So you need to define it as string arguments. So in this manner, if you do experiment, you can learn a lot of things. Now I am going to remove this static keyword from here. So what is going to happen? Let us see what happens. So I think, yeah, so it is showing this error, main method, it is not static. So please define the main method as public static void main string arguments. So always in programming, you need to remember a thing, that you can keep on experimenting the things, and you can learn a lot of things just by experimenting. So instead of public, let me declare it as private, and let us see what happens. So that is the way by which you can learn the things. Now this program will never get executed because it is already giving an error. It is showing that modifier private is not allowed here, and the same thing happens, I think, if you make it protected as well. So it is showing the same thing. So only public is allowed over here. Either public is allowed, or you should not write anything in front of class. So that is the way by which you can learn the certain things. So this was the thing which this is the program which I executed in the I described in the presentation, if you remember. So there was one more program, if you remember, number is greater than 100, number is less than 100 and all. So that thing I am going to just show you very soon. So int number equals to 75. Okay, so this thing, what this thing is doing, it is declaring a variable named num. Okay, the data type is going to be int. Don't worry about data type, concept of data type. I'll be explaining it in the next video, or upcoming videos. So the data type is going to be integer, and the value of num, it is going to be 75. So in the same line, what is happening, it is initialization. It is first declaring, and then after that initialization is taking place. So I'm declaring a variable named num, and I'm assigning the value of 75 to that particular num variable. Then after that I am writing if num is less than 100 or less than or equal to 100. Okay, then what is happening, I am simply printing out that number is less than 100. So I am writing the number is less than 100. So let us see what is the, this is always true. Okay, now why this thing is coming into the picture is because I have assigned a value here. Otherwise, if I don't assign a value 75 here, this thing will not the thing will not come. But again, it is going to give an error that num is this variable num is not initialized. So you should always initialize a value. So then after that, always remember one thing, you cannot use a local variable without initializing it. So then after that I can say that the number is greater than 100. Actually what I should write here is number is less than or equal to 100, because that is exactly what is happening here. This is less than or equal to operator. So now if I press the play button, so run button, sorry. So now what is going to happen, it is going to say number is less than or equal to 100. So I am just explaining the programs which we discussed in the last tutorial, so that you will gain more understanding, like with the help of an IDE and all. So of course you can use Eclipse, you can use NetBeans, it is up to you. But I personally find this IntelliJ idea more useful. So basically, what happens here, I am declaring num and I am initializing to 75. Now here 75 is less than here the value of num is replaced. So 75 is, that's how the program is working. If 75 is less than or equal to 100, condition is true. So this thing is getting executed and it is showing number is less than or equal to 100. Now here if I make greater than, what is going to happen? Sorry, not here, here if I replace the variable value of num to 125, just like I discussed it in the previous tutorial. So what is going to happen, it is going to say that number is greater than 100. And now if you hover over this, it will say this condition is always false. So this is just a kind of introduction to how we can program in Java. I said in the last tutorial that I will be explaining about this program in detail. So let me just explain that switch case program also. So I think that will be the with that program I will call the end of this tutorial, I think. So now I am going to declare int day equals to 1. So then after that I am going to put switch day. Now case 1. Okay, system.out.println, I am going to print Monday, and after that I am going to put break statement. Okay, we will experiment, don't worry, we will experiment with removing break and without removing break. So then after that I am going to write Tuesday here. Now, so what is going to happen? So this is switch case can be replaced with enhanced switch. Okay, we don't need to worry about enhanced switch for now. So because right now we are just going through the basics, let us first of all build the foundation part, right? If the foundation part is not strong, then the building is going to fall very easily. So let us build the foundation part first. So now if I press this run button, so what is going to happen? It is going to show Monday. Now remember, yesterday I said if you remove this break statement, so in the last tutorial I said that if you remove this break statement, it will print Monday, Tuesday. Now let us see what happens if I press the play button, this run button. So that is exactly what happened. It is printing Monday as well, and is printing Tuesday also. So basically what happens in Java, if you don't write the break statement, it is going to go to the next case. Okay, and it is not even going to check the condition whether day, the value of day it is equals to 2 or not. It will simply go to the next statement and it is going to print the Tuesday. Okay, in the much the same manner, if I remove the break statement there, and if I write system.out.println Wednesday, what do you think the output is going to be? Output is going to be what is the output going to be? Monday. Output is going to be Monday only. So why it is the case? Because break statement is written over here. So I don't need to worry about the break statements here, because the value of day is 1. So it is case is 1. It is going to print Monday, and it encounters this break statement, so it will go outside the switch case block, and it is going to come here. Then it whatever is written here, for example, I am going to write end of switch case. So here I am writing end of switch case, and here I am pressing the this run button again. So it is going to show Monday, then after that end of switch case. So that is the way you can understand the concept. See, basically in this programming languages, like whether you are talking about Java, whether you are talking about C or C++ or C Sharp or even Python, it is all about experimentation. If you, unless and until you experiment with the programming language, you will never understand all the concepts. Now if I write day equals 2, what is going to happen? What is going to be the output? If you understand it, you will say it even before I say it. The output is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday. So now if I press this run button, the output is going to be shown, and the output is Tuesday, Wednesday, and obviously end of switch case is there because this is written outside the switch case block. So now what is going to happen if I write the break statement here, and if I write the day here? So it is going to say Wednesday end of switch case. So the output is going to be Wednesday and end of switch case. So what have we noticed? The break statement actually it is insignificant in the last case actually, but case statement it is very this break statement is very important in the other things. Otherwise it is going to print all the output. So like here, if I remove break, it showed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right now if I remove break here and if I make it 1, okay, because of this break it is going to show only Monday, Tuesday. However, if I remove that break also, then it is going to show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I hope that by this tutorial that you would have understood how the Java programming works, and all this if case, if else statement, switch case statement, and that thing that I experimented with private, public, protected. Then I why the main statement it has to be marked as public static, and I even showed you that what happens if you remove this parameter. It is not going to work. So that I showed you already. So now also it is going to show the same output. So in most of the cases, whenever the error comes, please read the error. You can solve the error yourself. You can always do it. Always read what the error is saying. After that, if you have any problems, then you can definitely ask in the comment section also. So I think that is going to be the end of this tutorial. I just thought like the last 2 tutorials were only about theoretical part. So in this tutorial was about the introduction to the practical aspects of Java. So in the next tutorial I will be talking about loops. I will be going into more detail about what is loop and the different types of loop. I will be discussing like for loop, for enhanced for loop, while loop, do while loop and all. So now I hope you have understood that very well, because I have explained it in very lot of detail. But still, if you find that you have any kind of problem, you have any kind of doubt and all, don't hesitate to post in the comment section, and I will get back to you when I can. So that is going to be the end of this tutorial. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. till then, bye and stay safe.